Vladimir Putin's unpredictable missile attacks are terrifying, but now Ukrainians are facing a new deadly threat: winter.
With houses destroyed from 8 months of brutal fighting, and with the Russian president now aggressively targeting power infrastructure, the cold weather will leave already vulnerable residents struggling to survive.
Europe correspondent Lisette Raymer is in Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, one of the hardest hit by bombing.
The imagination doesn't seem powerful enough to put yourself in these shoes. Kharkiv is a city with a story of survival. It has kept its freedom, but not everyone has stayed or even lived to enjoy it. The outright destruction of people's homes stops you in your tracks when you first see it. But what is most disturbing is just how easy it is to find buildings like these in this area, lives that have been ripped apart. It's now the animals that keep watch over this city. Nearly half of its 1.4 million residents have left. But Natalia Pasternak never has and never will. For 8 months she has lived in this underground maze, curtains clipped to concrete, small comforts in the coldest of places. She's made it her wartime mission to care for all of the forgotten neighbourhood pets until their owners feel brave enough to return. This is where I cook, she shows us, and proudly displays the luxury of today, at least in comparison with the powerless life she led when Russians were shelling her home. This is all the drinking water, all of the water for the cats, all of the water for the washing up. The washing machine isn't working. But that's the least of her concerns. She is stockpiling bags of kindling and bracing for winter. So that firewood is the only way she can heat this place. All Kharkiv residents are.
My name is Elena Vladimirovna.
Lena can't work out why or how this happened. She has relatives just 30 kilometres away in Russia, and now they are her enemies. This is your home? It is, but it is unrecognisable. What do you think when you look at it? I cried for 2 months, she says. 32 years. There is only one person stopping her from returning and rebuilding for another 32. Putin, she spits. Within 24 hours, Russian troops had reached the northern suburbs of Kharkiv. The goal was a quick and easy win to capture a city close to the border that already spoke Russian and whose mayor opposed Zelensky. This was a high school, and while there are clearly lessons to be learnt here, they are not the ones these teenage students signed up for. But the Russians got more than they signed up for too. The Ukrainians were fierce in their resistance, and the Z was forced to exit. But more than 1,000 civilians are said to have been killed before they did. Well, it's hard to think of a place more innocent than a kindergarten. Where little lives once flourished and discovered their place in the world, a sad symbol remains of the broken one we are all now living in. This baby was born in a bomb shelter. His mother joins the line for a free bag of oats, saving what money she has for heating.
I think it will be the hardest winter in Ukrainian history.
The number of families in need is soaring as the temperature drops. These holes in their homes are holes also in their pockets, and above all, in their hearts.
And Lisette, Putin's hasty mobilisation of troops continues to cause trouble in Russia.
Yes, Laura, despite the fact that Putin continues to boast about just how successful this draft has been, with around 220,000 men supposedly having enlisted to join the forces. Overnight, there has been a deadly incident at one of the training bases. 2 trainee volunteer soldiers opened fire on the rest, killing at least 11 people and injuring 15 others. Russia has claimed that this is a terror attack, but commentators and analysts here suggest that this is yet another humiliating blow for Putin. Not only does it show just how poorly prepared this draft was, but it shows how poorly protected the Russian military bases are, and above all, just how much anger and resentment there is in his country.
Lisette Raymer live from Ukraine. Tēnā koe.